Hey everyone, this is Dust, and we're playing This Is Not Your House. Roger always knew if you were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. Let me speed up a bit. There you go. He hangs his groceries from his wrist, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. Ooh. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing towards him. There's a gentle breeze and a wide noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Ready with the key now. Smooth is fast. Oh, that's Roger. Got it. Roger's key slides in on the first try. It will turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H. Definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked. Jam. Broken, maybe. Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries fiercely to turn, pull, and push on the key and the door handle every which way, without success. Roger hears something inside. Ooh. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds the door. Let me in! Open up this instant. The police are on the route. The door unlocks from inside. How can I help you? You can start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. Check the deed, lady. The deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. Personal property is a social construct. Lady, come on. Those who inhabit a space own it. No, I want my house back. Give me back my house. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Gah! Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner is knocked back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken. No. I'll get it when you're gone. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. What does that mean? I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. What? Where are you from, lady? Roger hears a car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. That's not my car, is it? Yo. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. It can't be. Roger rolls around. The homeowner is no longer in his kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he's sure she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Toilies, cable runners, oil drape runners, candles. It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half a day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in on her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. A shadow passes by the window. End credits. What that like? Ending 1. We caked the homeowner. Hooray! Hold up, let me turn on this on. Oh, that is 1, I suppose. What's tutorial? Oh, okay. Yep. Aha, yep. Thank you. Oh, B volume. There it is only. Let's skip through. Letter. You know what, lady? You can have the house. Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station. Which car is that? The one I pulled up in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But sir, that's my car. No. What in the hell? Roger turns just in time to see the car he calls his own, reversing into the street. He sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat and disappear down the road. Lady! Here, let me help you with that. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft sweep. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. He feels goosebumps forming on his arm. As his nipples are. Roger, come on now. Give me my shirt back. No need for this either. The owner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanks backwards, knocking Roger flat on his back. Whoa, what is going on? The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and there are articles on his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision with the porch. You can hear the sounds of rustling fabric and crinkling plastic bags. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. Please, no, my chicken! The homeowner gathers Roger's things, glides into the house and slams the door shut. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. What the fuck? Lady. Roger is a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. Paching! There was something warm and slippery poured down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. He managed to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger Honey had a moment to act. Fuck. You know what? Arm yourself. Get a knife. Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out a butcher's knife and wails around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. No! Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled as John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labeling Roger, an unidentified drifter, and the homeowner as a neighborhood hero. Some locals got the story and recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict, to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. Damn. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of someone who defended himself when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. Lady. Alright, that's ending number 2. Okay, this time let's have her house back. Yeah, I could leave the house. But this time, we'll break it again and hide. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner wall at the bottom of the staircase, hoping to remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. Pachah! He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again, and again, and again. Oh, relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after. A neighbor called 20 minutes earlier due to the sign of breaking glass. Roger's defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. Oh, a woman. Police were never able to identify. Due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and a lack of documentation, the jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. Oh. The prosecution convinced juror that Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row, waiting lethal. What? Really? That's ending 3. Can I have the house? You know what, I'll wait her out. Roger was not one to bully others, or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch like any respectable citizen, but yeah, naked. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent, and his hollers turned to hoarse whispers. No, Roger. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He sat on the porch, curled up, and nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and the sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. Cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. Well, yeah. He was tagged as John Doe and placed in a morgue with discrimination. But Roger's final moments were warm and he was not afraid. What? Why don't you just... Roger, come on. Alright, you can have the house. I'll seek shelter. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it's best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pangs. He crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrunches around looking for food. It happens upon a large growth of mush. No, Roger, don't do it. Uh, let's save actually. No, yeah, sure, eat it. Roger consumes the mushroom with a desperate ferocity. They have a bitter taste. No, that's not good. But Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushroom, he starts to feel ill. His head begins to spin. That is poisonous. His matter of thought shifts and becomes fluid. What is this music? Okay. Kinda funky. Roger sees the world around him as a part of him. Or... he has a part of it. A very small part. A moat. The homeowner was right. In part. Personal property is a construct. But habitation is not means of ownership. Did not own the immense tree anymore after living in it than he did before knowing of it. The moat merely landed on the tree. In the morning, it came upon some mushrooms and began thinking of the world before itself. It surrendered itself to the soil. It cooled down to the network. Forsaking hunger, forsaking woods, words like Roger and returning home. Did we die? Or were we like super high? Or was that like one of those zombie mushrooms? Well. Can I have your house? I didn't. Oh, fuck. No, actually, don't eat the mushrooms. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. He didn't want the rest dying for a single breakfast. He let them be. But the fact remained, he was hungry. He set out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace, skulking through the tree line, parallel to the roadway, to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into the alleys and hides behind the garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze. It makes him salivate, and clenches fists with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. Oh, a fire station. They might be able to help. Yeah, go ask. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing it could lend me? Or some food to spare? Or, I don't know, like, help me get my house back? Got plenty of both, come on in. Oh, they're so nice. Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with the monogram of a defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry is in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we got. I would appreciate some, thank you. The fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So, if you don't mind me asking, what's got you out on the street with Spectre hanging out? ... I went out for groceries yesterday while I was out. Some woman broke into my house and changed the locks. Yes, Roger, speak. I couldn't get back in and had to spend the night in the woods. But, why was your Baker out? You like shopping naked? No, the woman had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on the porch and her pal took off in my car. The fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? It was fizzing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find a station and she took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kinda makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled onto this place. The facade really stands out. You got any kind of documentation to prove you own a house? Of course. I have the deed in the safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get to it. And that bitch took my pants and my wallet's still in them. You think she's still in the house or took off in the car with her pal? She had no intention of leaving, I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues on the horn and get the sword for you. The fireman lumbers over to a phone on the far wall. Yes, thank you. Wave of relief watches over Roger, knowing a civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman to think of him as a crazy old man. Or still, Roger worries he's a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. No. Part of him hopes the woman is still in the house, to prove to himself that he remembers what he remembers happening really happened. When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom. Raving that the house is hers, she's been here all her life, it's her childhood home. She demands the police to get a warrant to search the premises, but she is unable to provide personal ID or proof of residence. Yes! Bearing no legal claim to this property, she cannot refuse the entry. They are unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner has destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he uses to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Yes, get him! Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada, where BlackRock was breaking ground on the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Oh, nice. Good ending. We did it. Okay, next ending. Can I have it 6 shelter. Don't eat the mushrooms. And then we follow the food. Roger's hunger takes hold of him. It demands satisfaction. So he follows the scent in the air. He finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Oh. Roger wanders the vacant aisle halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks and some sneakers, then heads straight for the ready-made meals by the self-checkout, piping hot pizzas for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With someone clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shovels out of the store, leaving discarded pizza boxes and ties in his wake. He makes his way to the ATM outside the store's entrance. Roger reads the display and looks down. He sees the ATM's orifice. Inside his arm is what? It's cold, pulsating. Roger looks up at the display. His fingers grope around inside the orifice for the keypad. What? Roger feels the raised shape of the numbers on the keys. He pokes his pin into the pad. The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies. Roger had never committed a criminal act. It was distressed to discover how easy it was. At his own house, in the broad daylight. No one paid any attention as he hooked the hose up to the gas tank outside of the... No, Roger, don't burn the house down, please. No one better than I will when he broke the kitchen window. Or ran the gas tank's hose through it. Not even when he threw the lit Zippo inside. The neighborhood only took notice when they heard the result. The fire department was first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by the response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount on his insurance policy and used the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. Ah. Insurance fraud? I guess the homeowner is dead. Okay. At the house. Find help. Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arm and calling out for the police vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt, and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation. The officer enters the defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move! Hands! Let me see those hands! They're up. I'm cooperating. Suspect is uncooperative. What? I'm cooperating. What am I supposed to expect? Turn around! I said turn around right now! Roger complies. Walk backward towards me. Roger walks back. Toward the officer. Not so fast. Roger stops in a little game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up. Roger very slowly walks backward towards the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. God, man. Roger does not hasten his pace. He's terrified of doing something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draw near to Roger. Roger can hear cuffs being raided behind him. He feels the cold metal pressing against his wrist. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening for the cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood and steers him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch. Roger's naked body wriggles against the leather in the back seat as he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there. A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone has broken into my house. Look, we're passing by. We just pull over. Yo, someone stole my house routine. Save it for the judge, junkie. Oh my god. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies now. Because I'm not. You bozo. What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right, then I started pounding on the door and some stranger one answered. Strange how? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right, but what is it that made her strange to you? How come she was about it all? Acting like I was a perfect stranger and she belonged there. The officers glanced at one another. So you found your clocks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door. Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house and I turned around. She saw her driving away in my car at the same time. Pair of twins maybe? They were her in the car, the house, all in... Oh my god, you sound crazy, man. So what happened to your clothes? She took them right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car thing off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking? This is serious, look. Not funny, I was assaulted. Come on, guys. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I would have reported her. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. Alright, sir, how much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. They're telling me you tried to get to someone else's house in a confused state. Thought you saw the two of them and wanted to... Dude, just go to my house. Why aren't you But you haven't had anything to drink. That's not what I said. This isn't how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you've been drinking. What? I was not drinking. It's true what I said. Every word of it. I was not drinking. With a note that something is not cooperating and we haven't even been able to positively identify. My name is Roger Carmack. I've already told you that. You'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation. What? Why? What kind of... The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental and... What? None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without the diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings and irritate with all the other patients. Wanted to consider his ramblings. Those of a madman. Why don't you just check the house? My god. And specific nonsense that you can hear that buzzing your ear to any patient's cell door. Okay, that was dumb. Okay, this should be the last one, right? Yeah, I'm drunk. Yeah. Roger hangs his head in his hands. You're right, officer. I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's alright, old timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm very grateful. Well, you can spend the night in a drunk track, and we'll release you in the morning. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting on his cell bench. It was frigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in the service. True to his word, the officer released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the lost and found to replace his jumpsuit suit. He had no phone or wallet and no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passerbys refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowd and entirely out of memory. What? That was so sad. I think that was all, right? Take your house back. Oh no, I'll get my chicken. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous to the homeowner devouring his... No, not my chicken! The homeowner behind Roger grabs a peering knife. What? The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. What the... Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang of her blood with unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and his back and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bag on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. No. We'll need to dress and quarter it to see how much there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate the draft. The owner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings-on of the house safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbors by a door and some drapes. Wow, well, this is not your house. I think that was all the endings. I don't remember, maybe, but if you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Thank you. Take care for now.